Dips. That's, of course, back in the head. And I forget what they call distance here. Distance apart. That's the minor tweak. I feel like I went too far with the original one. But distance apart. Okay. All right. So we're going to call this. All right. So I know there's a little bit, and the subject is actually half Vietnamese. So I want an actual little bit of Asian eye. And Asian IA does a great job on this. Okay, so I'm okay with that. Now we're just going to deal with some of the other favorite issues. So, waist, belly button height, nothing doing there. Belly size, whoa, really doesn't do anything that desirable either way. Chest, of course, there's infinite breast morse. What I try to do is not use one that's in another product, if I can avoid it. Although, I have all those morphs, so it's kind of hard to see. That's obviously a Herschel Hoffmeyer breast morph right there. I don't want to do that. I want to stay with the default ones, or meaning like the ones that come with the morph pack, and not the ones that don't have a product name in front of them. For example, breast large. And let's just compare where things went crazy. This is a combination of a bunch of stuff, and this one is just that one. And then a large. Boom. Let's take one off, put the other one on. That's all right, I guess. A little bit of cleavage makes some clothing look better, but you can definitely take that too far and have problems with it. Now, for now, I'm just going to save out, because obviously I'm not going to be moving this to a different, computer and all that for the time being. So I don't need to worry about making my own morph. But there is actually a process whereby you can, dial this up the way you want to, export it into ZBrush, do a little tweaking, and send it back, and then save it as your own morph named after your character. I do that sometimes just to be able to zip that up in a data file. And that's all you need, to make your shape again without having to install anything else other than just the basic version of Genesis 9. But there's no real reason. I'm not going to be making a product out of this or nothing like that. So, just curious about that. So let's see here. So different. Interestingly enough, when I moved the blowout hair, it lost the textures. Blowout. There you are. Materials. Hurry. I might have screwed something else up too when I actually did this. So now, for the record, this is the blue vampire. I'll probably got to re-render everything I've done thus far. Man, are you telling me there's not a black texture that I like? Let's just go black 5 for now. We may change that later. Or a nice brown. No, that works. Black's fine. Okay, so now we have I'd be curious to see with the default settings, which one of these renders looks more natural. Let's try that. This might take a second, folks. Meanwhile, I can pop back over here. Oh, no, it's not taking that long. Cool. Raising up. Okay. Yeah, I do think the default skin looks a little bit more natural. Not that this looks bad, but applying it over a character that had already been another character probably changed some of the diffuse maps that didn't get overwritten because FaceGen doesn't write all of those normals and stuff if they're not going to be there. So in theory, if you apply this material created by FaceGen, you might not be changing everything back to the default, which I think is pretty clearly what happened right here because you can see the eyes have something going on. But anyway, now I want to name this character. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one entirely. And I'm going to name this character after my story. I have suddenly forgotten the name of the character. Not forgotten it. Forgotten how to spell it. Amaranthe. I'm going to leave the 9 there in case I later need to, for whatever reason, build this for Genesis 8. And I'll tell you why I would do that. Because Genesis 9 is heavy. And if you get many characters involved that are Genesis 9 centric, you'll run into some strange examples of it not being willing to render. And that has happened to me very recently, actually. I mean, the last little contest, the FH server room would not render with a G8 and a G9 inside of it. Don't ask me why. G9 is kind of heavy. I think that's what we're getting at. I'm going to kind of go with a little bit of a default pose here, just so every time I load it. Let's change back to texture shaded, please. Okay, I am also going to use the house still in shaping. The smile was a little goofy. I'm going to de-force that hair real fast to get us back to a natural looking state, and I'll freeze that morph so that when I load it, it loads with the de-force frozen. Trying to keep these to 15 minutes is not easy. I'll be honest with you. It's like you blink and it's 23 minutes. Already we're at 23 minutes. I'll definitely cut this one at 30 before we move on to the next thing. All right, so let's do a real quick de-force. Simulate. You guys, that's like watching paint dry, so we'll switch over here. Look at some of this stuff a little bit. Woo, exciting. No. La, la, la. Spent a bit of time today trying to put fog specifically on these steps, and that did not go well. Having a hard time making a fog material. But anyway, our de-force on this seems to be working fine, which is great. And then we'll be saving out that character, yo. Obviously, this is not going to make the cut as a cover. Actually, I went with, just for the time being, was this. And I kind of abandoned all that and went with... By the way, we can look at what that render came out. The last render from the last video came out as. Raw. Completely raw. Open. And I have a couple of actions I've made to brighten things up, and usually it makes everything look better. So there you go. That's what we're working with. Really, really does not look great on those steps, unfortunately. That kind of thing, DAS would not fail a product for, and really, nor should they. But, you know, I'm just trying to be inventive and find ways to use this that might not be shown in the promos for it, you know. But anywho, classic blowout here. Let's go. Simulation. We're going to turn that off. I'm sorry, I'm working in the other window. I'll be right with you directly. I am just saving this character in a place that I will have access to just load it right up without any drama. Okay, so I'm going to overwrite my other one. Call this Amaranthe. Amaranthe. There we go. And I could go ahead while I'm on a roll here. Rename this other one. And there we go. Now, I might have mentioned a few times that I really like this product called Icon Creator Pro. Do yourself a favor and get this because it's just excellent. You can, make your library look really, really good with the click of a couple of buttons, the Make Art button in particular. All right. So we got that far. Might be a good place to stop this. Only have about an hour of free time left for this day, and I will be off doing grandpa stuff until sometime tomorrow. And I do have a recording session in the middle of the day tomorrow, so it may not be as long as we've done today. So what? So freaking what? Okay, let me pop back to this, and you see beautiful. Actually, let me turn this off. Beautiful, nice dealio right there. Okay, so now I feel like we got the character. So all that stuff that happened in the strip, the comic strip, this first page here, either this default character could be like another character, or I need to rebuild that. Frankly, I'm not super thrilled about the idea of rebuilding that, but I did not care for how some of these clothing items rendered. I didn't put enough time, really. I spent a lot of time on that. So maybe this is another empire. So that means I got to redo that. But that's down the road. I know that I'm going to lean heavily on some vampire characters that are, already existing in studio that I've purchased over the many, many years, 20 years, y'all. That I've been purchasing DAS goods. So Vamp, there should be some characters I don't have installed that are available. I tried my dead level best to get all the really sweet raw art stuff. So I know I've got several of his characters, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Oh, I know, it's because they're not G9. But there are plenty of, I'm going to reference, while I'm looking through this, I'm going to reference my library at DAS and see what members I have for G9. I know I have them. Van or Strigoi, the ancient vampire. Man, there's so much vampire stuff out there. Okay, it's not Strigoi. Let's just VAMP. Oh, I think I might have been spelling vampire in a way that the particular character that I'm looking for does not. Oh, there we go. That is a Genesis 8. Oh, darn it. Drat. Let's look for, I'm going to do a search in the DAS window here. Pardon my lack. Ooh, looking at new releases, which I can't touch for almost a year. That sucks. Hey, by the way, guys, I did get my hands on this really sweet thing that dropped from Zivon. I've worked with this vendor before, and he will typically hook a brother up with his releases, and that's good because Daz really loves them, and he makes amazing looking sets. Look at that. Makes me wish this story was started in the medieval, and maybe it did. Maybe I should go back and do a scene or two from that because that's super inspiring. I love those renders. And of course, the same artist did the castle that we're working on that cover for the image. Very, very cool. Looking forward to playing with that. So if we search for vampire while we're here, and we go, that's a really sweet looking 8.1. There's so many. Let's go to the homepage. Daz has worked a lot on improving their search. I wish it worked as good in studio as it does figure face. I love that you can do this. So dope. So that gives you all of the artist. I know it's a raw art. Man, I may not have thought it. Let's go horror. Man, he's just all the time dropping amazing looking characters. I'm a sucker for it. I guess not. I was thinking, I don't have the name right. I just don't have the name right. That's got to be what it is. Higher? Might be G8. Yep, that's G8. That's G8. That's the two I was thinking about. I could have sworn that it was a G9, but everything is G8. There's no standout vampires for Grandpa. Yep, all G8. That's all right. Give him 5 minutes. He'll drop one. No doubt. Raw Art 3. Let's just go with Vamp. Don't want to be sleeping on anybody that's making a vampire character. Herschel Hoffmeyer, I'd love to see him make one. Man, his werewolf and lots of his creatures are just amazing. Hide items I own. It says showing 1 of 1. There we go. But that ain't even it. Let's go Vamp. Hide the items I own. Okay, G8, G3, G8. I wish I could. Well, I did, didn't I? Did I not check off Genesis 9? Anywho, so good. If I have to, I'll make these morphs myself. Vampelia. Upper Genesis 3. Love it. Anywho, that's going to do it for today, guys. We've been rocking and rolling for over 30 minutes here, and I promise that means this is going to be chopped up into 2 videos, so sorry about that. But we've got our character. I guess I could do a little previs of her and what she might look like in the real world. She's a real girl. Here we go. That's the base outfit. Hit this real quick. Let's create a new canvas real fast. Turn this off. Off. Create. Go here. And go create new white light. What is that sucker? Some quick changes to our settings. Why is it that every time I say I'm about to turn this off, I'm about to turn this off? All right. Man, we've been giving Dad Studio a workout, which is the entire point of this embargo thing. That's great. By the way, I will talk about this a little bit more. I do still get to get new products, legally, of course, because that's the only way I do it. But I do still get new products every month because of Dad's generosity and their one coupon that they give PC Club members and automatically included in that because I'm a PA. And that is awesome. So I get $6 worth of product. And as we all know, I have 20 years worth of content. So that's a little bit of a, alleviation of the embargo, if you will, every week to keep me inspired. But not that I need that because I got plenty of inspiration. Plenty of inspiration. Okay, so let's go here. Grab that point light. Intensity. Amaranthe. You're the one for me. Here we go. Okay. Just give me a picture, please. Give me a picture, please. Let's see what we got. Well, God, I will say I expected a little bit more than that. Man, trying to play hard. It's like not updating the way I expected it to. We're getting there. There we go, guys. I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of getting there, If you look back at what I said I was trying to accomplish here, I think we're getting in the ballpark. Going to do a little side-by-side comparison here. So we can go looking at that and then just switch right over to this. Back to that. Don't know why. Seeing a little red lines, but hopefully you guys aren't seeing that. I think it's safe to say that we kind of were getting where we were trying to go, which is kind of cool. Anywho, y'all, that's going to do it for this couple of videos, and we'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe later, but we will be back as long as we're breathing and living, as long as my wife's prediction of my imminent demise it does not go through. Hopefully, apparently I have the heart attack crease on my ear, she told me today, so thanks, babe. Anywho, see you all later. Have a good one.